Rise forever till ties sever, shine together, rule wherever. Clock ticking now, whenever. My worst behavior, beats who's unique, the flavor. Foes turn flame, then vapor. Rise forever till ties sever, shine together, rule wherever. Clock ticking now, whenever. My worst behavior, beats who's unique, the flavor. Foes turn flame, then vapor.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Jarell's Journal. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm your host, Jarell, and I'm here to bring you guys another good episode, another good glimpse into my life, into my perspective of what we got going on. So today, we're going to be talking about breaking out the comfort zone. And I have the pleasure of a special guest to introduce tonight. He goes by many names, and I'm going to let him introduce himself, and then we're going to talk about how not only myself but how his perspective of breaking out of comfort zone, learning how he got to where he's at in this position to where he's at now, from where he started from. Because if you guys know me, if you guys been listening to my previous podcast, if you guys been with me from the beginning, from the hard-hitting fitness point, to you guys will see the progress, to see that this public speaking isn't easy for me. Although now I may make it seem like it's easy, as in it's comfortable, to speak to people, to talk to you guys, to be in front of a camera. It is not. It's a work in progress. And my guest knows those struggles, and learned how to adapt, learned how to adjust, and learned how to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations. So without further ado, I will introduce Wandoe, aka Jarell, aka, whatever he wants to be called. So go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump right into it. Hey, oh man, what's going on? Well, I can't hear you now. Go ahead and say something.
You know what? That's on me. That's on me.
There we go. Go ahead.
That's on me. So while you're trying to give me a great introduction, I don't know if y'all heard me earlier. My son just walked in, and he want to get on the pod too. So we're gonna let him on in a couple more years.
Yeah,
hear Daddy talking a lot. Definitely heard me, seen me a big part of why
I hear him now.
I'm no longer in that uncomfortable zone. So let me get back to business once I get him situated.
All good.
Okay, that's time.
Oh, I see a little head right now. Hey, look a little man.
We'll change the script here.
Yeah, I like it.
For the viewers and listeners, my apologies. But I'm not going to apologize for my child. Like Jarell already knows, we parents, we fathers, we active out here, so we did it. So I am Jay Wandoe, aka Jawan Muldrow, my formal name. I'm also known as Dro from Muldrow. Actually served with Jarell, but we weren't stationed together or anything. He served me the whole time. And I am stationed or located in Texas, San Antonio at the moment. And as you mentioned, I have been around places where public speaking pretty much forced upon me. Yes, that's me. forced upon me in certain places. So I had to grow to get even to this point to want to engage with people via camera, understanding and realizing it's going to be recorded and it's going to be for public consumption at some point. So it's something that we definitely want to do more of as people that may not have had auditorial events and practices granted to us at schools or whatever the case may be. So I had to learn on the fly. And and you have no problem talking, do you?
Not at all.
Yeah, but we'll come back. Finish up my thought.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. Come from our perspective and what we know, we definitely understand the kids. We definitely understand that kids come first, and that teaching, growing, educating the kids is in molding them is most important. So we're gonna let Jay Wandoe go ahead and handle what he needed to handle. As far as his son and his kids and whatnot stuff, we understand. I got 2 girls, as y'all know, or if y'all new to this, I have 2 daughters, 9 and 12. So I definitely understand, and it's definitely most important to put the kids first. So he go ahead and handle what he need to handle, and I'm gonna talk to y'all for a bit while he handle what he need to handle. So like I said, the episode tonight is called Breaking Out of Your Comfort Zone. And it has not been the easiest thing for me. I am a natural introvert. Therefore, I don't really like to speak unless I have to or unless it's necessary. And a lot of the times, just how, Jay Wandoe spoke about, excuse me, it's been forced upon us. It's been forced upon him. It's been forced upon myself to have to speak, have to be the face of, whatever situation. Even when I was in the military, when I made staff sergeant in the Air Force, I had to be the one to be the face, to speak, to be in charge because nobody else wanted to do it. So I had to put myself in that position to do it. And since then, it's been a constant thing of putting myself in the position to where I had to speak. And I'm sure that he had to do the same thing. So I've been growing, I've been adapting, I've been learning how to speak, how to say less when it comes to, addressing things. I had to be comfortable in talking to individuals in a public stance without having the nervous sweats and the nervous reactions of just having to talk to somebody just point blank. With a lot of people in our society nowadays do not know how to do that. They don't know how to talk to people face to face like this. They don't know how to make eye contact here without feeling uncomfortable, without feeling pressure, without feeling discomfort of, oh man, we're making eye contact. Oh, this is uncomfortable. I don't like this. I don't want to do it. But that's how you get close to somebody. That's how you naturally bond with somebody is eye contact. It's communication verbally, face to face, not just on the phone, not just via online how we're doing a podcast now, but
Agreed.
naturally face to face. We're here, we're in the same space, we're talking, we're communicating, and we're having a understanding, and that we can actually grow, learn together, and all that stuff. And unfortunately, that's not how society is. And that's not really how I grew up. I grew up to where I am, I guess you could label me the black sheep of the family. I don't speak much. I am the introvert in the family. A lot of my family is extroverts. They speak, they social butterflies. They could go somewhere and just naturally bond, grow, and just have fun with everybody and learn. Oh, this is so. I'm not naturally like that, but it was forced upon me to have to learn and grow through the military, and then me being a personal trainer. I had to learn how to talk to people, how to communicate, especially working at Planet Fitness. I got to talk one on one. I have to somebody bring a conversation to me right then. I have to know how to talk to them, know how to help them right then and there.
I was searching something. Don't think I'm not paying you attention.
No, you good. You good. You good. I had to learn how to talk and communicate and help them right then and there without any, oh, I'm sorry, let me get back to you later. There was none of that. So I had a few years of forced having to communicate and talk to random people. So that helped me. And I appreciate that. And that's what this whole thing is talking about, is accepting and being comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's what I learned. I learned that from books that I've read. I've learned that from viewing other individuals, having conversations with other individuals, and just the experience. I had no choice but to learn how to be uncomfortable, because every situation that I was put in, I was very uncomfortable. Like, very much, I would rather not. I'm the kid that I'm sitting in the back of the class. I'm in the back of the classroom. I want to say,
respectfully, slide in there real quick. So
yeah,
even what I just did, respectfully, if someone's saying something, before you get too far ahead, interject. That's fine. And that may help the speaker, the person that may be having issues, get their thoughts together, because it's something you said. And you're like me, I'm like you in that sense, where I'll start talking about something, maybe one point, and then they'll carry over and take me back. So what we both do, and I think what we're good at, but it could be annoying at times, it could be something that keeps people away, is we reflect a lot. Some people call it, like you just named two different instances where I used to versus, and then you're combining it with, okay, now I'm bringing it back to now, present day. So why, you have to ask yourself, and for anyone else having those issues or have gone through that before, why is this connecting to here? What is it about when I'm in these spaces? Because I'm pretty sure when you talk to your kids, if you need to say, go sit down somewhere, it's not something that you have to think about. If you need to talk to them about something that's, hey, make sure you put your clothes on, make your bed up. Those things just happen, right? So being consistent and being in spaces like these where you can speak and have dialogue will make a huge difference in whatever you're trying to do, because you're able to speak to someone that either is matching your intelligence or maybe exceeding your intelligence at that moment with your common knowledge. It's not saying they're smarter than you, but these people know how to hold these conversations in these spaces better than you can, because they've done it. I just went to the bedroom to take my son, forgive me for that, and the presidential debate was on. I had no clue. But I'm watching one candidate and the actual president go back and forth, and I see it's not a USA shirt, this is an England shirt. We didn't talk about my background, but we'll probably get to that a little later. Presidential candidate, one looking at one, and he threw a jab, but they had to sit there and wait, take all that in. So even with your did and what you're doing, like you're having to retrace back to those times. So I think a remedy to this is having these conversations. So when people do see you, when they do see you in these spaces, when they have seen you, they're looking at you differently. So I would say to you, like, use that. Use that light. This is your podcast. This is Jarell's journal. This ain't Jawan's journal. This ain't Jay Wandoe's journal. Your mother's name, father's name journal. You took ownership of this. So if you want to think, and I gotta go, you gotta dash out of here and come back, and you kept going, keeping the show rolling, I appreciate that, because that shows that you're a genuine spirit, and people feel that. So it really doesn't even matter. And I think with all this, back to the comfort zone, you're not comfortable because you're always thinking of others. And it's not that you shouldn't, it's just more so how you do it. Think of others. So the moment you go over that budget for someone else, over that capacity, you answering the phone too many times at 1 and 2 a.m. and they know you're asleep, they know you have stuff going on. Inconsiderate people. That's again, I had so many topics in my head because I have my own podcast as well. But yeah, just to want to make sure I interject that in your spirit, like, hey man, you're doing great. Keep that up, because Coach Jarell, you're daddy. Your dad, I'm sure you've been all those names from your children. So take ownership in who you are. And again, like the and all that other things that come with time. And I was just looking it up and make sure I use the right vocabulary word. That's diction, choice of words, especially with regards to correctness, clearness, and effectiveness. So making sure whenever you're about to say something, you process it first. Our minds can't leave us. So that was my spiel. I wanted to make sure I interject that before I don't like to see my black man going back too far, because I want somebody to catch me and pick me up out of that. Like, hey, let's get back on track. We turning this way. How we getting through it? We can talk about it all day. What we did, what we used to do, who we used to be, and I can say this better on your show than my own. But yeah, let's turn a new leaf, turn our heads toward this way. I mean, you just seen a prime example. I got a son to look after. I got to grow him up, so he needs to know that I'm talking to another man. I'm not. We having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're not having an argument. We're not. It's a bond. It's not. I can't even say a friendship because of how we met. We working on a friendship. Yeah. We have a bond, and so that common ground is beautiful to me, man. I appreciate you for having me on. Just I had to bring that back because I got distracted, but I'm back here. But I do appreciate you having me on, because without this, I can't get practice. I can't grow within myself, and every tool I'm learning and trying to grow from and grow to, I'm stifling myself because I'm not being used enough. I'm not taking advantage of these opportunities. So, respect to you, man.
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you saying that, and I definitely appreciate your feedback. Because I don't get enough of that, and that's another reason why I tend to ramble in certain situations or in certain time frames or whatnot, or I tend to over explain certain things because I don't get enough of that. So I definitely appreciate your feedback for sure, and I appreciate you being on here, and I appreciate you motivating me, because it's been a minute since I've done a podcast, and I know my listeners will appreciate this conversation that we having, and then this episode that we're having, because it's been a little minute since I actually put something out. So I definitely want to shout out to you, shout out to the Doe Spot, your podcast.
Appreciate it. That sounded good, man. That sounded good.
Yeah, man. To inspire me to get back to speaking my perspective and my truth, and motivating me to sharing my experience with others, because I have been in a rut, and I have been dealing with personal things, but
sure. We
speaking
all
with
have
other like-minded individuals, absolutely, it helps motivate me, not only with my girlfriend, but with you and other like-minded individuals, to help motivate me. It was like, what, I've been taking a knee for long enough. Let me stand up and let me keep moving. So I definitely, I wanted to shout out you and definitely say that I appreciate you. Like, this has been inspirational from our conversation, a couple of days ago.
Sure.
It's like after getting off, like it lit that fire under me. It's like I needed that.
I'm grateful to be able to do that to you, man. Like I do it for you. Wow. Grateful to be able to, do that to you, I guess too, because we can make each other feel things outside of anger and neglect or whatever we get from other men. You can't, it's hard to even, and then you brought up the word society, which it irks me because it's like I think a lot of society has been the society has been we are just more exposed to it.
Yep.
We were both from South Carolina, both from SC. I've been away from SC much longer, like as far as living there, but I always kept an address in Florence. I love Florence. I love South Carolina. That's my state, my city. I rep to the end. Wherever I've gone in the world, I'll name them off another time. But I've been around. I've lived around. I said I had this England shirt. I've lived there 3 years. That's a big part of my growth. And but being from this where we from, went up until maybe when did you join the Air Force?
2010.
How old were you?
I was about 20. I was 21. Still
a man by age, but I mean, really, you didn't have any kids or anything, did you?
No.
Yeah, so like you were still a young man, as they call it. I was 19 going on 20. So at that point, I've been places, but for myself, I can't imagine knowing and seeing people from Alaska, Philippines, Japan, like all these different people I've encountered over my life where I actually literally got to see the world. But before that, and before 2006 when I jumped on Facebook, and then in 2006 MySpace, like before I start seeing where other people are from. Yeah, and I'm thinking that just that's where our minds sort of opened up. We had TV, we had television, we had movies and DVDs, but I mean, if y'all old enough to remember, you had to wait some time before a movie came out. It wasn't like it just hit the theaters and just left the theaters in 2 or 3 weeks, and then before it hit the theaters, you can stream it. No, it was a period in time where it's movies for a while, like months, depending on where you are. So imagine that with people. If you got some news, like the NBA draft just took place, you got news, the NBA draft took place, you wouldn't know to the next day. Yeah, so was first pick, and you have to read, names. You wouldn't even know these people's names because a lot of them aren't even from here. But the point I'm trying to make is we get information so quick. We think we really know people. We think we really know what we're doing. And all of us are really just trying. Even when I look at the podcast game, I don't have to look. I can just imagine the bigger names are people who already had some buzz or had some connection somewhere before. I can name off like the Joe Budden podcast. Obviously, Joe Budden was a rapper first. So even if people don't know him for rapping, the audience that knew him from rapping are his main source of people. Joe Rogan show. Yep. Any even like a network, like an ESPN. ESPN is not what it used to be as far as that go-to for highlights. You go on YouTube. You can look up the highlights without ever touching the ESPN. Getting clips. We working off clips. And we're not used to that. Back to the pauses and people taking their time or messing up because we just cut it. We just cut it. We cut it. We cut it. We got to have an intro. We got to have all. I try to keep my intro and all that other stuff, music in the background, to a minimum. If I can, just completely cut it because I understand. Yes, some people need that. Some people do need captions. Some people do need to see the words in front of them. For me, we having a conversation, and even right now, my fan is on. It's distracting the hell out of me, and I'm pretty locked into the conversation. But I know it's in the room. That could be some other kind of spidey sense thing I got going on. But yeah, just some people get very distracted. They be talking to you, phone buzz. I mean, I gotta go. I'm like, whoa, like I'm in the middle of a conversation right now. That reminds me of my kids that I coaching basketball. You can tell that who wants to be there and who just wants to go dribble and shoot. Yes, they're 7, 8 years old, but it's 70 and 80 years old. People are the same way, and 7 and 37 and 27. We're all so consumed with the world, with society, that it's very difficult for us to get to the point where we can just listen to people and make a mistake and say, teach me something. Say, man, I appreciate you asking me a question. And I know you can't do that for everybody, because one day we're going to be on some show or something. We're going to be out there in the world having to do interviews. I know it's coming. I'm just speaking on it now. So people will be like, oh, yeah, that's where they started. Yes, absolutely. We're going to be somewhere in spaces with so many other people. That's why I do my podcast. It's like this is not something I have to do. It takes my time away, but I have the utmost respect for the people I try to make sure I have on, and it's something that I feel like it's destined for me to do, and I'm honored to not only be a guest on people's show, but to have people on mine, and just for them to answer the call, even if they don't say anything back. You know, I've yet to have someone be like, "Nah, I can't do it," like at all. Like if you ignored it, that's cool. You know, my request, but most people didn't say, no, I'm not gonna do it, regardless of what. I literally just started as far as my numbers, but we're not even on that. I'm just genuinely. I love talk. I love people. I love getting perspectives from people, and even talking about yourself. I love that you took a lot of space and time away from something I felt you wanted to do and I had a passion for it. So to hear you say that you had to take, it's been a while, you had to take breaks, or you recorded at this period, and maybe you didn't put it out to here, it really like feels like it takes away, because think about those listeners, where they were in that time, how far they've been removed, how much they've seen, how much other things have been put in front of them. Here you come popping out. So maybe if I'm on the show, not just me, but whoever else, like maybe like one of your last guests you had on, I know him. You know, we met some years back. Shout out to Justin, man. Shout out to Justin. And yeah, that like who would have known? The next person you have on would be somebody that your last person. So we touching the world, baby. Like we affecting the world, and we're gonna do something great with not only this but whatever else we have, because we just those type of people, and we're learning. We're willing to.
Absolutely, and that's valid. That's valid, and I appreciate you saying that. I really do appreciate you saying that, because it helps. Like I said, it helps me slow down, because I am an introvert and I'm naturally an overthinker. So I naturally go into that. So when we did have our conversation, and I did say that, I was like, hey, like when we was talking, it was like, yo, I saw that y'all knew each other. Y'all was friends on Instagram. Like, what are the odds? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dope. So we definitely influencing and, you know, touching lives out there. And I definitely appreciate your perspective and, you know, your knowledge and all that stuff. And I want to know,
because that's what I need. I need a direct question.
Yeah, I got you. I'm there.
I'm like, okay, how long am I talking? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm there. I'm with the direct. I'm with the direct. How long, or what was your journey into getting to where you're able to be confident of what you're saying and the questions of how you respond now to where you were in the past? Like, sure. How was that journey?
I literally just posted a post yesterday about where I started. Where it didn't start with that podcast, but it started with a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast, my cousin, and my other cousin, which one was my first cousin from my mom's side. Y'all should know how that goes. Your mama's sister's daughter, and then my daddy's sister's daughter. My first cousins. Yeah. And we did a podcast called Distant Cousins.
Okay.
And it's still live. There's some things on there, family trauma. We kind of went to like mental health, mental release, those type of things. Like a big therapy session. But we didn't have this technology. So that was the big thing. Me having to talk to them and then put it out in the upload, listen back at myself. And it's kind of started with there. I've never had to do like a speech, or I've done plays in school, like going back, tracing back. I've been like the star of the play, third grade. But I think really was around, and I'm 38, by the way, so late 80s, baby. So to start around like late 2010s, becoming a coach, basketball, understanding I had to talk and yell at grown people, tell them how I thought basketball should be seen or played.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hard for people in any field. If you walk up to someone who's very heavy into public speaking or whatever, they're gonna tell you like, well, I didn't. If you try to say something about breath control or facing the crowd or any sort of correction, in most cases, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be like, whatever. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But in reality, how I see it from an audience perspective, someone who's seen a lot, and maybe I can't perform that way. It's just like when with basketball or something that I'm very keen on. We tend to like, the self-doubt sets in. Like, maybe I didn't sound that well. Then someone tells you, like, man, you sounded good.
Yeah.
You go back and listen, like, wow, I really didn't say too much wrong, So I think that's when it started. And to get where I am, I'm really not anywhere in my whole own head, but I do know slowing down, like you said, taking time to, I kind of write out in my head, like a mental note.
Okay.
Listen to a lot of hip hop, a lot of rapping, a lot of battle rap in my pocket of space. Find, go up under the couch, get that loose change out, and make $1 out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I have to pull from things I've already said before or what I know, but it's a lot of work. But I rather do that than memorize it. Or if I can't memorize it, I write it down, and I keep a notepad. And I mean that's Jarell's journal, perfect segue for that. But yeah, I do keep a little notepad to write things down because I have to go back to it. So to answer your question, yes, about 5 to 6 years ago, it's when I really got to the point of like, okay, I can speak to people. I can hold a conversation with many people in the room, and over time, I've done that in so many spaces, met popular people, celebrities, and things like that. Met people that are very prestigious in their area, where other people wouldn't even go up to them. I'm speaking to them like, hey, man, I'm whoever I address myself as. Nice to meet you. Let's take a picture. I've taken pictures with people that, most people probably didn't even understand or know who. Why are you taking a picture with them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so-and-so. They look them up like, wow, that is him. Just being an observer, being an active listener, understanding how to read a room, how to go into different places. Some people look at it as they say code switching, but I don't think that's it at all. I can't think of the phrase right now, and I don't want to be corrected by anybody, but I will just say, like, when you can find yourself being someone who can speak to everyone or anyone. I'm not saying everyone, but anyone.
Yeah.
That's when okay, I'm saying what I'm supposed to say. Because usually they'll listen to you.
Yeah. Now that's dope. That's dope. Because I've definitely with my journey, it started halfway in military. It started pretty much when I made staff sergeant. Is where I had to. Everybody else, hey, you got to talk to the captain. You got to talk to so and so. Who's gonna do it?
To get things done.
Everybody looking around is like. So naturally, me being a sergeant, I have to say, don't worry about it. I'll do it. So that's pretty much when I've been forcing myself to be the front runner, to be the one who would be doing the communication.
Okay.
So that's where it started. Then become the public speaking classes to where that is extremely uncomfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
In the past. Now I can do it, like, no problem. But before, when I went to American Military University, public speaking classes, uncomfortable. Do the training class before you make sergeant, uncomfortable. Then I think I had to do it like one other time. So it was just repetition for me to help me become more natural. And then after I got out the military, decided to do personal training and all that stuff, and being the Planet Fitness and talking to random people, whether they're 20 years old or 60 years old, just being forced to communicate with people who just want to tell you their life story without you asking. It's repetition. So that's how I look at it, as repetition, which helped me break out of my comfort zone. So now when I meet people, they're like, "Oh man, you're a natural, extrovert. You talk this and that." I have to inform them. I was like, "No, naturally, this is not what I prefer." But after experience, after books that I've read of self-development, because I am the one to where I like to educate myself. And in order to educate others, you have to educate yourself first. So that's what I firmly believe. So I like to learn as much as I can learn. And in the process, as I talk to other individuals, whether they know more than me or whether they know less than me, I still like to share my perspective. And so through that process, it's helped me communicate, it's helped me talk, it's helped me learn, it's helped me pivot to where I could break out of my comfort zone. I could break out of my bubble or, whatever, to where I feel comfortable and I could just talk. I could just have conversation. If I don't know nothing, I can accept that I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm willing to learn what you're willing to tell me.
And be up front with that too, because I think it's easier than going at something not having the same amount of knowledge as you may think, or the confidence. Confidence, of course, is important along with consistency. But and a third element to that would be intention. What is your intent while you're speaking of something? As a trainer, you know what the weights look, feel. They feel like when they're heavy. You feel like when you're tired. You know the body a lot better than people probably know their own body. You can just look at them, looking at their makeup, and saying, okay, you should be working here. See how this is, this where you know the target areas, and it's something that in the mental space, in the mind, you need to know your audience. So talking to me and then talking to 7 more people that are in the same room that have a suit on, and it may be different, but it shouldn't be. You should be able to conduct yourself just as professional as you did before. If you around people who are not in that space, from the hood, ghetto, whatever the case, whatever, however we want to word it, and I don't use those colloquialisms, but I hope I use that word. But because people check, people that are from these spaces where it may not show or have been exposed to other cultures and dialects and everything. Those people, the people in that space will be drawn to you if you at least speak like you understand what they're coming from too, or where they are. So meeting people where they are is very important.
Absolutely.
You can't, as parents and adults, grown adults, we can't speak to children in a way that we would speak to another person of our age or close to it. And I'm talking children even in the teenage since 15, 16, 17. These are, in their mind, they're grown, but they're kids that they may not understand. Well, they know better. And this is going to a whole nother topic, but I feel this is very important when it comes to
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because they don't, we are, pretty strong men. We do well in areas like fatherhood and going to work and being in where we need to be. But I know myself have avoided many conversations because I didn't want the response, or I didn't know how to control how I presented or delivered the message I really wanted to say. And I said something else. And it was taken a way that surprised me because I didn't say what I wanted to say anyway. But when I finally got to say what I meant to say and should have said a year ago or 3 months ago or 5, 40, 30, well, not 40, I'm going to be 40, I'm not 40 yet, but 25 years ago to this person, and of course I'm thinking about people. Should have said it then, took whatever I was going to take, and then keep it pushing. That's where we we fall into that trap of like, man, I walked away from what it could have happened. Man, I really didn't even say what I wanted to say to them because I'm basing my thoughts on their actions. The crowd, I'm rapping, I'm saying a speech, and I'm not getting the feedback. So even we have to look at what we're doing now. This is probably very important conversation to be had, but the audience may not get it. Or like I said before, other things are in the way. We don't promote it enough. People know we have something going on, but they have. I look at some people's followers. They're following like 4,000 accounts, and I'm like, and I'm following like 1,200 on one page. I have a coaching page, I have a podcast page, and then my personal page, which I'll share later. And I'm like, there's no way I could keep up with all this. You know,
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's not posting, but
yeah,
if I'm trying to get to a source, and this would be same the conversation, we have to learn how to stay on topic. We have to learn how to keep all that fluff and flutter and clutter out. We have to clear that clutter. I just seen a post about that earlier. Clean, you start getting anxious or whatever, clean your room, clean your car out, clean your house, and you'll start to see your mind open up in space. You might start putting stuff or rearranging things where, like, well, I can walk through that. I can walk around my bed easier now. I can think clearer now with less people in my face. Now I can actually go do something with my life. This person was holding me up. I couldn't even talk. That's like the shortest form, like even nonverbal language.
yes,
That's the shortest form of communication. Don't quote me on that, but I truly believe that, because if you could just listen to someone or read it in a book and you understand it, you know what it is. All these books back here. I know you had a bookshelf before in the background. So yeah, appreciate the
oh yeah, no, books is
definitely
reading
need inspiration, man. Inspiration from everything. But yeah, you read in a book or you hear something being said, it shouldn't take 1,000 ways or whatever. But if you just give it, it's something I want to do. We can probably go jump on my podcast and do this.
Yeah.
I wanted to call it Lead with That.
Okay.
So, just like with me and you, let's talk. We're supposed to do this 2 years ago. But now we can be like, hey man, I want you on my show. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'll come on your show. We did this in less than 2 weeks. Of not talking for months, y'all. We haven't talked for months. It's probably a year. Could be more. Doing a lot of moving, a lot of rearranging. My desk and setup is completely different. You know what I mean? I got wireless headphones on. I didn't even have these when I was kicking off. But yeah, it's the same camera though. Shout out to the Razor. Yeah, so we are growing now. This is the process everyone talks about. This is the way up. This is the way up. This is upward. This is progress. This is we use the term put shots up. Now we found that rhythm. Legs kind of tired, but you're getting like, okay, I'm comfortable in here. I hit my corner 3 now. Where I was kind of I couldn't even get the ball up off my shoulder. So now I at least know how to hit the shot that I want to hit. That's what I got.
Absolutely. And you hit on something too. And I'm glad you kind of hit on something, because I wanted to bring that up too. And it had to do with common barriers of fear of failure, rejection, when it comes about, growth, communication, all that stuff. You talked about that in your episode with crafting in the Carolinas with Latrice James. Yeah.
Latrice, pieces of posh on IG.
Yeah, no, that was a great episode. That was a great episode. But you talk about that, and you talk about just the barriers of and a lot of us experience that, to where nobody wants to fail. Nobody wants to feel rejection or anything like that, but it happens. So what do you do when it happens? There's so many different avenues and so many different ways that you can take it.
Sure.
But what's the right choice? What's the wrong choice? Is there a right choice? Is there a wrong choice? There's so many perspectives. There's so many avenues. So with that, what do you feel? Like how would you?
Yeah, I used to I've never looked at something as a failure as much as I looked at it as a disappointment.
Okay.
Even in kind of relationships, I never looked at a relationship as failed.
Mm-hmm.
I always looked at a relationship as this wasn't supposed to work out, and why.
Right.
Where did it go wrong? Where I stopped feeling like I was excited to see you. Where did it go wrong? Where I felt like I don't want to put as much effort into my editing. I just put it out. I just not post today. I just don't post for 3 months. I want to take pictures away. I want to take. I did that. I took episodes off my podcast because I didn't feel like it was good. Excuse me. It was good material. I'm drinking his tea. So I still got my UK ways and excuse me. So what is it about me that people don't like? And I have to, for me, like when it comes to like saying, okay, I failed something. I'm really look like it's time to transition. I have to adjust how I think. Forget what I do. Forget the verb. How do I think? What am I thinking of when I even say the word failure or hear the word failure? It's almost like don't and can't. Like these words just shouldn't exist in our head as much as we allow it to. We may say that, well, I can't fly there. I don't have enough money. Okay, think about where your money is going, and then ask yourself this a month from now: how much did you spend on Starbucks? How much did you spend on things that you really don't even use or need? I mean, we tend to stockpile up on like detergents and especially after the pandemic, toilet tissues. When before we go get that little 4-pack of Angel Soft from the Dollar Tree. I mean, and we be straight.
That's that thing.
We can put one in each bathroom. Most of the time, we only had 2.
Yeah.
Blessed to now have more than that. God bless. But so now I really have to do that. But like, stocking up like extra ketchup, extra.
Yeah.
You grew up in the house. We didn't have the extra nothing.
No.
So
yeah.
So back to what I was saying. Like we so overconsumed with expectations, gratification, that as soon as we post it up, we expect somebody to be out there like on their phone. But that's really what has to happen. They have to be on their phone. They have to be, somebody has to answer their phone. You have to be talking to them about something they can relate to at that point. Excuse me if the psychologist is coming out of me, because I literally just finished my degree in social work. So
what do you do when you encounter somebody like that?
What do I do when I give them what they want? You need me to elaborate?
Yes, please. Please.
Man, I got so many. And even that's a moment right here. I've said this before to my wife. Shout out to Toya. I said, like, we gotta. This is what I say. Black people give you what they want, what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You want an argument? We're gonna argue with you. You want to fight? We're gonna fight. You want intelligence? You want fresh dress? We're gonna give you that. You know what I'm saying? So if you come into me with the energy of someone who is feeling like you want to slight me, you thought you was gonna like jab me in the rib, and I wasn't gonna hit you back. I'm gonna hit you in your chest and make you feel like, dang, I was just playing with you, but hey, we didn't clear up the other conversation that you thought I forgot about. It sounds a little bit vindictive, but at the same time, another phrase, a common phrase: don't play with me. Don't play with nobody's name.
Yeah.
When you encounter someone who isn't really like is being disingenuous and really not taking you serious, or they can't follow you, if that makes sense. They can't understand your being. You just keep giving them more of that, because they want that out of you. Some people want to rise out of you. They want to see if you're going to stop. They want to see if you're going to quit doing this. So every time you get a new guest on, you get a me, you get a Justin, you get whoever else you have on. You have people on. You had guests that have degrees and everything. I remember, hearing. So the more you do that, I think the more you attract the people you want to attract. The other people they're gonna do what they do too.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen, they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna lurk. They might even like it here and there, or they leave. They just don't. There's no interaction. So you, technically, to answer your question, you don't have to do anything other than what you've been doing. So in that case, I say again, give them what they want. You give them the satisfaction of not giving them the energy of that they ask for. So you do without doing. You let God handle that, which is really the answer. I have my answer, but that's the answer. You let God handle it.
Yeah, no, I like that because I'm the one to where if depending on how the situation or the conversation is going, I'll let it flow until a certain extent, to where I have to.
Took it too far.
I feel like I am obligated to speak my truth and to tell you what I feel needs to be said at that certain spot. The conversation will get to a certain point until I feel, all right, this is enough. I got to speak, and now I got to say my piece. And now, if that doesn't justify, at least that I can feel comfortable saying or knowing that I said what I needed to say, and that if you didn't listen, if you didn't adhere to the warning, whatever that I was speaking, then that's on you. I said what I needed to say, just like the Bible said. You speak your truth. You say and you teach and you educate as much as you can. Now, outside of that, that is not in your control. So that's nothing that you need to worry about. So that's what I live by. I speak and I teach of what I know and what I've learned and where I'm at the moment. Now,
wisdom.
Exactly. So if you can take what what you heard from me and do whatever you want. Now, if it's doing it negative, that's nothing to do with me, because I said something out the positivity, and I tried to educate from my perspective. So
people don't like that.
Looking at the Most High, you're doing everything that you need to do. That is your job. That is it. You don't need to do nothing else. So that's how I move, and that's how I help. That's what helps me break me out of my comfort zone as well, is that I'm doing what I feel is being, taught to me. I'm learning and I'm adjusting and I'm moving what's in a positive manner of what is being taught to me and what I feel and what I believe is being taught to me for me to educate others. So therefore, I go by that. This is what you want me to share. This is what I'm going to share in a positive manner. There's no spite. There's none of that. This is all love. This is all positivity. This is all, hey, this is my perspective. I'm not persuading you to do anything that I feel that I want you to do. No, this is what I learned. Take it or leave it. This is what I learned. And that's how I feel that I don't know if it's happening to you, but I know it's happened to me where it's been so many people that's gravitating to me, and I'm just like, what are you doing? This and this. I'm just living life. I don't know what's going on. I'm just speaking my truth. I'm just being me, positive, loving. Hey man, people's past is what people past is. My past is what my past is. You're not conform to what your past is. If you learn from your past, if you made mistakes in the past and you're learning and you're adjusting and you're growing from then on, that's who you are now. So I don't judge people from their past. I don't judge me from my past. I learn, I grow. I made a mistake. I apologize. I understand. I recognize I made a mistake. I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to move forward knowing that I know better and I'm going to do better. So I treat others the same way. And not a lot of people understand that. And
I can
go ahead.
I get why. Back to what I was saying. So I'll just run back what you said. Yes, that has happened to me. Yes, that's a main reason why the name change and why all this has taken place, because for one, I do have people drawn to me. I mentioned earlier, I don't get many no's. Again, I may people follow my page that I would never thought was going to follow my page, regardless if they listen to the podcast or not. It's just more so that fact that you see something I'm doing and you're supporting it. So that's one of those. Another is I eliminated a lot of people. I've removed my followers of women particularly that I used to have like relationships with or intimacy with, because and on one side it's like I'm about almost married 7 years now. Like I don't really need them in my space like that. And then for two, I don't want to take them with me in my journey, because that's not even my angle. I mean, I could be one of those guys. I could do a relationship podcast and be great at it. I can be toxic. I can I can knock all the genres of podcasting out. I can talk sports. I can talk maybe not movies so much, but I can be a critic of a movie. But so yeah, just to clarify on that part, you being a person who you have been all this time is more so on you, because you're open and aware to it. If you were saying you were an introvert, you're introvert, but that's people gonna start treating you like an introvert.
Yeah.
But when you start posting more, you name this podcast Jarell's Journal. So that's your stuff. You're not trying to include anybody else. And I'm starting to say that your former co-host, who is my guy, my brother, one of my brothers, isn't
My brother too, man.
well, for sure. Shout out to Fred. He wasn't somebody that you could connect with at all, because obviously y'all had a connection. It's just in that space with your space, because you both had distance, that was difficult. If y'all had, I'm pretty sure if y'all had that show together and could do every episode together, it would be on point.
For sure.
It would be weekly. Y'all would be more energetic and excited to do it. But y'all, I can tell, and I'm saying for me, like even from this, you can hear, if y'all go back and listen to any of my episodes on my podcast, you can hear where I'm kind of talking, but I'm like thinking about it. Now I'm like, let's get this conversation popping. Let's talk.
Growth.
Yeah. So it's just, you have to have that experience. You have to go through everything. It's not, even if it's something that you don't have to go through, like childhood trauma. Your trauma is completely different than my trauma.
Yep.
You could have actually had somebody touching you or doing something out of the way. I just got spoken to or exposed to certain things. I got to see things a lot earlier than even at all, which made me want to explore and see more of it and experience this, things I should have stayed away from. On the spiritual side, man, God made us who we are to be. So we are made in His image. So even with all the way down to the locks, us being able to grow our hair and at this tender age.
Yeah.
A lot of men can't do that. I can't hardly grow a beard, but I can grow my hair.
That's all I got.
Yeah. So my boys, they got bushy beards and no hair. It's just who you're made to be.
Yeah.
But I think you have to run into that.
Yeah.
You don't run to that direction.
Yeah.
And eliminate. We look back way too much. I tell my daughter all the time when she's running, stop looking around, stop trying to see who's beside you. And I'm speaking this life into myself as well, because I have to do the same thing. I have to consider this myself.
Absolutely. Have you ever read the book The Alchemist?
I haven't been asked. The Alchemist is my favorite producer, but I know it's not the Alchemist. Not that book. But yeah, that's one I haven't read, and I have a few books on my shelf that I definitely get into. So when I want to highlight to you, and I'm listening to some of the.
Yeah, Alchemist is definitely an amazing producer, but the book is from Paulo Coelho. I hope I'm saying his name right. He wrote a number of books, but The Alchemist, it's more so about a journey that teaches the essential wisdom of listening to your heart, right? Listen to your spirit, and recognize an opportunity that is awarded to you, and learning and growing. So I've read a decent amount of books, and that is and I am one of storytelling, whether it's movies, TV shows, anime, video games, whatever.
Yeah.
I love storytelling. I love if you could draw my attention to the story and just veer me and navigate me to, follow the story. I love that. I
Sure.
love that. So this book, The Alchemist, is one of those books that I would recommend to anybody. Like I'm gonna buy it for my daughter. My oldest daughter is 12, and she loves books. She could read novels
Mm-hmm.
in a couple days. She would read. Yeah, I'm finished.
Gotta link them up one day for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So she loves books. So I'm gonna buy the whole thing to have her read it because she loves. I'd rather listen to audiobooks.
Yes,
She's
same.
an actual reader.
Sure.
So, but anybody who's listening, and even with you, I would recommend you read that or listen to it because it is a great story and it's a great story to follow, and because it's about a shepherd who he wants the best in the world. He wants the riches. He wants this and this and that, but the route that he has to take in order to get what he wants, it's amazing. It's amazing. And he ends up, getting blessed in more ways than none, but it definitely wasn't any of the options that he would have chose.
Yeah. Rewards come differently for everybody.
Absolutely.
Look, what just happened today? LeBron James' son, LeBron James Jr. or Bronny James, got drafted to the Lakers. And
Did he really?
it's good. That's breaking news. Breaking news. So whenever you post this, it ought to be.
Oh my gosh. I've seen the post, but I didn't.
No, he actually did get drafted. I was watching the draft live. And but see, that's funny, but it's like that's what he dreamed of when he was 18 getting drafted, and then I think he had him around. So he's 18 now, so he had to be around 20 years old.
Yeah.
When he had the son. So think about it. Like, you want your daughter to be here and your child to be here. So yes, it on one perspective, it is funny. It is like, wow, I can't believe it. But I mean, who else were they going to draft? Because I mean, I was just thinking if they drafted anybody, they had the bottom 5 pick, 5th pick. Who else are you going to put in that slot? And he just wanted them there. So I mean, that's his path. A lot of injuries, Olympics, and doing all these great things, and people still. I'm not saying that everybody. I'm not saying myself, Michael Jordan's the greatest in my mind.
For sure. Yeah.
But greatness still is under. But that moment, the ability to be able to, for him to be able to do that at this age and this point, to be the first father-son duo in sports history to play together. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's sports history, if not.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
Sports history to actually play. Oh yeah, NBA because King Griffey Jr.
I think I was thinking about
NBA
that.
history. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So
no,
we
sure.
can look in our lives and look at. I can show you the puny house I grew up in, where my room is bigger than that now, and that's not a flex because we under military order, so we get. I don't know if y'all know about BAH. Get our allowance so that we cover the house. You know what I mean? But we were gonna live in some space. We again left from England, so probably double the size because we just needed it. At least in our mind, our kids want to run around.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I definitely want to check out The Alchemist for those reasons, and I want to recommend one to you.
Yeah,
called Plato's Cave.
Plato's Cave. Okay, I'm gonna
yes.
write it down.
So with Plato's Cave, and I haven't read it, but I would recommend it from my therapist, Dr. William Gurry, an amazing man. He was my psychologist, excuse me, and he was giving me all types of gems that I haven't written down. Plato's Cave, basically, what I think we're going through. We grew up in a dark space, either mentally or physically, but now it's like, here's the light. The light's here for you. Go out to the light. Go jump into this space. And maybe we'll go out there and play for a little while. So you'll do your thing in the fitness world. I might go do my things and coach somewhere, but then I'm back into my cave. I feel like I can't quite, get out. Many of our demographics deal with that a lot. Just, if you ride by those apartments,
Yeah.
if I can ride by my mom's apartment in my head in 2006 and then 2024, still ride, and she's still in there. So imagine some of your friends and family members or whatever, and prayerfully nobody's still in their same space, because just to get out is just it's refreshing. Even if you got to get out and come back home. I'm talking about people that never left. It's tough to see. It's tough to comprehend, honestly. And there's no judgment. It's just get out and see more of the world. And I think that type of, when you do that, like what we did, we left. I left my city. I love my city now, but I left. I didn't go to the military. I left my city. I wasn't ready to be exposed to any of that I was seeing coming forth.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't trying to be stuck there, as they say. So even though I'm out of the military now, I feel like I accomplished something. So, and think about everything we did, and we think about the blessings we're receiving. So it's just looking at from a perspective, from our perspective, from our points of view. So I would definitely take a look at the book and definitely try to get as much out of it as I can, along with whatever I already have. Just more so, because it's always all about sharpening your tools, bro.
Yep.
We can talk about the same stuff all day, but it's just like, well, maybe I don't know the experience that you had. You don't know the experiences I went through. But let's talk about those. What shaped you? So those are great leading questions, because it makes me think, man, what got me to that point? And I can go deeper. I asked my wife earlier today, like, when was the time? And I can ask you too, when you finally, like, I'm basically stood up for yourself. When you took it upon yourself vocally and say, nah, I don't like you doing that, or you in my face. We say you don't like people playing in our face. We like you said, you'll get to a point of a conversation where you're like, hold on, that's too much. That's too much. But when have you gotten to the point before that? Like, even when somebody start talking crazy or they yelling at you, you like cut it off. When do you remember that?
I know with me, I know that didn't start until maybe a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. Because I am one of those who, I'm a few words. I don't like conflict. I don't like being confrontational. So I'm gonna let you say whatever you need to say, whatever, man. I don't want to deal with it. But I would say these past 2 years, especially going through my custody battle and just that whole situation, scenario, whatnot, and then
sorry to hear that.
It made me have to do that. So, and then dealing with other females or whoever I was dealing with at the time, family, whatever, I had to learn how to put my foot down, in a sense, just to protect me and protect my mental and protect my heart and all that stuff. So I had to learn that. So it's really didn't happen until these last couple years, honestly.
Pretty much forced into it. Like,
yes,
enough. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm still learning, because I'm in another situation now to where I have to put my foot down where I don't want to. So it's a constant thing for me in what I'm dealing with. Some have to deal with that situation early on.
Yeah.
But for me, I didn't start that until my 30s. I'm 34 now. I'll be 35 in December. So it didn't start until I was like 32. So I'm still learning, growing, adjusting, and all that stuff. So I'm still trying to figure it out and get comfortable with doing it. I don't mind doing it, but I don't want to do it.
I'll ask this: what is there to figure out? And I'm not asking that to be condescending, but I'm just asking, for you to like process that. What is there really to figure out? I feel this way. I should be able to tell you this without even thinking about you getting upset. So is it? And I'm asking this because I have people in mind like that. And I actually talked to my mom about that. I tell her I don't really miss or want to talk to my family members because I feel like I've grown so far past them in thinking. Not anything else I've done, none of that. But the way they respond to me sometimes, because I do, and this is Fred, he told me this, like you speak with like a matter of fact type of, and I do because I'm trying to process why you can't understand what I just said or why I said what I said. Because in my head, I've already thought about why this makes so much sense to me. So
I don't
what's up?
I don't mind to laugh because I've heard that so many times, and I heard that from Fred too. So that's why it's like
He does it too.
It's
It's
extremely funny to me.
we gotta really, I think he said this we was on a phone call one time. But anyway, point is, it shouldn't even matter because you're most likely, and this probably goes for you as well. You're responding. You're not the one leading. You're not the one. Hey man, I need to talk to you about something. You're the one to get in the call, receiving the call. Like, hello, are we good? Or you getting the question asked versus I don't ask questions like that. I in my head, like you said before, where you saw me, I try to reset the conversation from that point. We haven't talked in a while. I may bring it up as we go along. But I'm not like right away, like where you been at? What happened to you? So I think a lot of times we put that upon ourselves and make things more difficult by trying to figure out what happened instead of, okay, what are we doing from here? And then you can talk about it because I think once you clear that, people think, oh, you still harboring feelings or whatever. No, this paid for everything. Y'all don't get it twisted. Like everything, some things can't be forgiven. Like you slashed people tires, you took money from somebody, you didn't give them money back, or you owe them. You owe them money. You owe them a favor. You were supposed to call them back or at least check back in. These are things that sometimes like the non-negotiables. But as far as just miscommunication and I had this going on, all that's for the most part irrelevant, unless it's something that you're the reason behind it. Then we need to have a conversation because I don't want to keep having conversation with having conversations with you with unresolved issue. That would bring me some. And most of the time, people tell you like, "Oh, I wasn't even tripping about that," or "Yeah, when you did, I do remember that," or whatever the case may be. And that made me, but that wasn't why. And then you go on and on about, I guess, why you haven't talked or why the conversation started the way it did. So, because if you stood in your head about what last conversation and the tone hadn't changed, or it is a little sharper than you wanted, and I know I've thrown people off with that. I come in, they open the gate, and I'm already swinging on them, verbally, and they're like, "Yo, what the hell you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I ain't get my lick back from last time, or you I told you not to slam my door, and you slammed my door."
Still holding on to that.
Well, you did it again, but I didn't say nothing to you, or I mentioned it to you, but I didn't tell you in a way that you heard it. You like whatever, or I didn't slam it. I'm sure these are things we hear. I ain't even close your door that hard. Instead of them receiving it as, you know what, you're right. I'm gonna take that a little better. I'm going through that with my father right now, actually. So we need to have a conversation. And I'm tired of talking about my dad. My dad's name is all over podcasts and conversation. I'm ready to cook up a like you said, a face-to-face conversation to where he can understand that I'm no longer that hurt little boy. But I am becoming a more developed and positive man. So I need more of those type of men in my life. And if you cannot be that person for me, then we don't need to be in each other's lives. In that way.
And having that hard.
Write that down.
Yeah, no, that was good. That's real good. Because having those hard conversations is necessary, especially when you never had that, and it's needed. Rather it's going to work out. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to have the conversation or not. You still need to speak how you feel. You need to get whatever is on your chest off to whoever it is you need to speak to. And that's how I feel. And that's how I try to go about it. No matter how, if I want to do it or not, I still try to say, this is how I feel. Regardless, regardless of what it
It's
is.
hard to teach people when you're not the one displaying what you're teaching. Practice what you preach, all that stuff. Yeah, you have to be the one to apply it. You have to apply the information, or else why even have or read all these books? Why even go through all these courses when you're not going to actually apply that? So that's what you have to be when you're ready. It's almost like God's calling you. You'll know when you're called. You'll know when that woman's the right woman. You'll know when that man's the right man. You'll know when you're supposed to have kids. You'll know when you're being a good parent. You'll feel that conviction. And man, I hope whoever's listening to this, whatever age or gender you are, you understand that it's not professional advice or anything. But however, we do have our own ways based on our opinions of us, people saying things to us, and also our responses in our own experiences. We chose to respond this way, where you may say, I don't let nobody do that to me. Well,
It's a choice.
Well, that, and then there's other things that because you said something, put you in certain places you really end up muzzling you anyway. I've won conversations. I mean, I've lost conversations, but won the reward of peace in my own heart, the reward of what, even getting out of the military, because I didn't speak up, I got out. I think that was one of the ultimate blessings anyway, because I've been wanting to get out, and I didn't have to get kicked out. I didn't have to. I actually got paid to get out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Most people got out with nothing, no severance package, no extra dental and medical. Yeah, so I got out with a bag. It wasn't even called a bag back then. It was, I guess it was, but money bag. But it was a bag. I got over $20K to get released. I had a bonus. Nice. I didn't have to pay back.
I would love that.
So yeah, like I'm free to live. I'm free to. I get up. Like people watch. I'm gonna start once I get my house I really want. I'm gonna change my income and my deposit from the military to checks.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to say I can go on the first of the month. I get my check from the mail, open it up. A lot of people used to say that when we were in.
Yeah, I want a direct deposit. Send me that check.
Yeah, send me that check. I want to see what this is because I know what I put into it, and so you're gonna put some work into it. Don't just neglect trying to. Hopefully, I'll be in a different financial bracket by then. Lord is willing. So yeah, man, that's a good topic to back to comfort zone, because I think we are comfortable as long as other things we don't allow to make us uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I don't think most people are uncomfortable or in a comfort zone unless you put yourself there. When you washing in the shower, you got it all out, commando. If you knew people were watching you though, what would you try to do? Likely cover up. I mean, unless you like that, some people love their bodies and they're like, hey, you can see everything. But if you have some flaws or something that you've seen before that you felt wasn't enough or too much of something, or may not look good, you like, I'm gonna keep this to myself.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm closing the doors. I'm closing the bathroom door. I'm closing the other door. Mm-hmm. I'll make sure the door is locked, which I hardly ever do because I watch too many movies and I don't want to slip or fall. I lock my inside door and see I go down a rabbit hole with that. I'm yelling, I'm hurt, my kids can't get in. I think like that, you know what I mean? But you laughing, but
I get it. I do. Trust me, I understand.
Conversation. I'm thinking like, man, if I really tell you what I want to say right now, you'll want to fight. You would get that upset to want to really put hands on me as if I was somebody that you don't even know, because you don't know this person. Some people don't even know. They know Rose. Airman roles, sergeant. You know, they don't know Jarell at all.
That's facts.
We chasing people, we following them on social media, we seeing their lives, and we thinking like we could just talk to them, and reach out to them or say the things we could have said to them 12 years ago, 15 years ago. It's like, pump your brakes.
I think that's the reason why I don't talk to as many people today, is because they don't know how to communicate with me, and I don't know how to make myself open or vulnerable or whatever may have you to them. So I think that may be a thing, because I have people, I had a friend that check in on me today, say, hey man, how you doing? Just checking that it's on Messenger, but it's never a phone call. And with me, I would prefer a phone call. I would prefer somebody calling, either phone call, video chat.
Did you tell them that? Hey, man, just call me next time. Oh yeah, we told them before.
But that's the thing, because I don't think I ever did. And I don't know how to say that. So it's not, I'm never going to put it directly just on them.
So you left
because
them on
I'm
red?
still trying to learn and figure out how to communicate myself.
You left the man on red, bro.
No, I communicated. I was like, hey, I'm good. I'm doing good.
That's how we communicated. I wanted to call you. I wanted to call you several times. I wanted to call you, like, when I message people, I'm like that too. Like, I'd rather just call you.
Yeah,
I'd rather just FaceTime you.
Communicated to him, say, hey, I'd rather call instead of text. So maybe, you speaking that, maybe that is what I should do.
Sure.
And I just never thought to do
if you
that.
really want.
In my mind, I'm like, yo, you need to do that. But I never verbally. So that's just learning communication styles and communication skills. I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good point.
And that's kind of, and I've done it too. Here I am, I'm 38. I mentioned that earlier. It's kind of creepy to be in another guy's DM nowadays. Even though, how else am I going to reach out to you if I'm following you? I'm aware of your life. You showing all these other people what's going on, and I reach out to you. Well, at where I'm thinking, I don't know another way. Like you said, I don't know if it's okay to just call you. If somebody was calling me right now and I'm seeing Messenger video right now, and it's somebody I haven't spoken to in a long time, even somebody like my mom, like, I have to wonder, why are you calling me through Messenger? Why didn't you just call my phone? Like, you never called me on Messenger. Okay, well, something happened. It just depends on. It honestly, I think it depends on what your perception of you are, or you are. Yeah, you is. Yeah. What's your perception of yourself? How open have you made yourself to that person? Because obviously because this person could be texting you something, maybe to keep a transcript, because maybe you didn't respond or don't respond, or maybe they just need to get that from you, or you just you should be more open, like, hey man, you can just call me. Here's my number. That's what I did. I think I did that with you. Like, I just throw my number out.
Yeah.
So from there, you can make the decision of what you want to do with that phone number. I'm an Apple subscriber, an Apple person, so iPad, iPhone, the number's up. So, and soon that's going to be my only communication, because again, I'm speaking this ahead of time. I'm going to be so busy and flooded with, and I spoke on this on the podcast too, and it sounded very condescending and very, very mean. But I'm like, I'm going to forget about people, and I didn't mean that in a way to, like, say I'm not going to talk to you or anything like that. I'm just going to, because I changed my Twitter name. I don't go by Dro. So if you knew me as Dro and you don't see Dro as my name handle, then you don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to actually read a message and then look back into it. That's a lot for people.
Yeah.
Same with a book. You rather take the audio book. You just said that. That's your auditory listener.
Mm-hmm.
You rather not sit there and have to read a long text about how so much somebody missed you or whatever. Just call me, bro.
That's valid. That's valid. And that,
and call them. Say, can we talk? Like, you got time? You got 20 minutes? Let me call you and see what their response be. It will be. Maybe that may not be even the person that you need to talk to. Or it could be somebody phone call to change your life. Business opportunity,
That's valid. That is valid. And it makes a lot of sense. And
Sure. And I don't do it. I'm speaking this off of
I appreciate it because I love other people's, opinions, and I love constructive criticism. Rather, if I want it or not, I like it because it helps me grow. So hearing that is like, it makes sense because I think it, but I'm like, it's just me. I'm just over the end of that. But hearing somebody else saying, I'm like, damn, maybe I wasn't tripping. So, and maybe it's because I never grew up with a mentor or guidance or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Even now, I don't know. Like, I could have an idea and or opinion of what I feel needs to happen or what I should do when it comes to communication and all that stuff. But I really don't know. So hearing other people's perspective, especially, from you and others that I hold their, your opinion, close to me, because I really I don't I'm a decent sense of, filling out people. I feel like I'm good at filling out people, their heart and their awareness of if they're pure or not.
Mm-hmm.
You're pure. You're true to what you say. You mean what you say. You say what you mean. You ain't with that fluff. I got that from our conversation a couple days ago. He was like, "Yeah, nah, that's cool. Well, what's the deal?" Word. I appreciate it. Now, cool. You cut to the chase. I like that. I like that because I could get long winded if I don't know where the conversation go. You splice that right in the head. I appreciate that.
I'm getting there with different people, but that's the thing. Like, even though we didn't talk during that time period, the fact that you responded to me, because you reached out to me after me reaching out before, and so I was just like, okay, well, whenever we get to it, that's that space of I called you.
I respect you, man.
People looking at the timeline, like, because for me, for the most part, I text people right back. Like, I don't know, a lot of people don't do that. My phone battery is just going crazy. It's at like max percent. Some people thinks it's weird to text you right back. It's like, what you doing? Yes, I'm actually on my phone and you text me. Because if I don't text you now, I'm probably gonna forget about it. So I got 3 kids. I have a spouse. I need to be with her right now. It's just like, but I'm carving out time in my life to invite others and also hopefully share some wisdom, some insights to other people. But this journal is gonna go way past me. This gonna be on the archives somewhere. This gonna be like the Book of Chronicles, dog. Like, I already know. Seriously, like, this is these experiences and these journals, these diaries, these podcasts are like our time capsules. And I'm pretty sure we've heard these buzzwords and terms before. They really are, if you use them the right way. Because this information it's timeless. These aha moments are timeless. These are gonna be points in your life where you heard these things. You heard it from me, someone that's also learning how to deal with them. And I'm telling you, based on what I've been through, how I got there, because I had to do this. And I can tell you also the end result, where relationships do get severed. The closeness, the people asking you about people. Have you talked to this person in a while? You have to think about that and say, yeah, because your stories may not match up.
Yep.
You may say, well, I just talked to them 2 weeks ago. They'd be like, well, we talked, but, and that was a whole nother thing. And you can say, well, they told me, so-and-so told me you had did this.
Yep.
Because they said it out of maybe not even anger. They were just thinking you were going to just talk to them. So I get myself caught up in that. I'm talking to a group of ex-friends or people who don't talk to each other as much. And I'm trying to be the link and glue the same glue I was 10 years ago or 15 years ago. And they ain't trying to hear that. Like, they really fell out. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be either in your space or not gonna sit there and watch y'all be at it. And y'all my friends.
Yep.
Y'all my family. This is my family. My girls, 6 and 12 years old. Go ahead and get it out a little bit. But at some point we gotta
Yep.
Okay, why are we even arguing?
Yep.
Well, she said this. Why are you listening to her? Well, she said, okay, go in your rooms, go sit down. And then when I call y'all to eat or whatever, so
Yep.
we literally have to parent our relationships. We have to really nurture them. We have to be the ones who say, our coaches, we have to say, blow the whistle, y'all all over the place, go back to the line. Maybe if y'all run a little bit, we can y'all can start getting it together. Maybe if you don't have a ball, maybe if you I'm trying to think of a sport without a ball that we play, that black people play. You know, I mean, soccer, football, baseball,
Everything with a
basketball.
ball.
Yeah. I don't know the pun. Go to the military. I do push-ups. Maybe I don't know why they thought doing push-ups and making us tired was going to make us march better. I don't understand the logic of that, but that's for another day as well. And I am out here in San Antonio where they do basic training. But anyway, sun, snow, go do push-ups. I'm yelling at you, and I want you to go do something. I'm gonna turn into a robot. Anyway, yeah, my boy, you on your way, man. You already got it in you. You got the juice, bro. You just have to turn that thing on, man. You have to really understand within yourself. You are set apart. You are set above others. And I'm pouring this into you because you my friend. And I said it earlier, we didn't have a friendship, but you my friend though. You somebody that I do bond with. I knew it when I heard you. Like I was like, okay, you rock with Fred, you rock with me. We from the same state, literally hour and 15 minutes away from each other. So that right there, we both serve in the military. We got girls, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure we got, you know, locks, and we just a lot of things about us that drawn us together. And that's just one side of it. You know, I'm pretty sure our spiritual walk, our passion for reading, our passion for helping people, along with what we're trying to do. We're coaching, we're educating.
Yep.
We're doing podcasts. And the more we have these, the more we meet like-minded people, the more we can at least handle our portion.
Yes.
And be the example for our children. We don't know how powerful that is. Some people try to run away from it altogether. And they rather just say, you know what, forget my legacy, forget my child's legacy. That's what you're saying.
Yep.
You're neglecting them when you're not pouring into them. You're saying, forget what you got going on. I'm focused on Cabo. I'm focused on my lifestyle, my bankroll, my crypto, my stocks.
Yep.
You're basically telling your children and people around you that I'm trying to isolate myself from you and these responsibilities because I don't have the courage or want to take time out and get to learn what you need from me. So any communication flaws or anything you have is going to show up in your family and everything else because you don't communicate well. Or you haven't shown signs that you can be emotionally intelligent.
Yep.
You are doing that to yourself.
Yep.
So I feel like I'm giving a dissertation or something. But I appreciate you let me chit chat. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
Blow your show up for.
No, absolutely, because you're speaking facts. You're speaking facts, and it's definitely something that people need to hear because a lot of people are miseducated or uneducated
misinformed
in that aspect, misinformed. Absolutely. So hearing what we have to say it's only going to help them. It's only going to help them grow, mature, and learn from the mistakes that they made or are making, and get them back on the right path.
And they better get it now. They better get it now because once I get this license, we charging, bro. It's gonna be an invoice attached. It's gonna be you gotta subscribe. It's really like subscribe. We're not monetizing yet. It's coming.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. You don't have to. Yeah, you have to pay for this education.
There
Like
you go.
you better get on now. Hop on the train now for
Mhm.
sure. I'm definitely cognizant of the time that we've been on. Been an hour and a half, so I'm gonna cut it short. There are some things that we didn't get to speak on that I wanted to speak on,
Yeah,
but
we're still catching
we
up. We're
have
catching up.
plenty,
I got.
plenty of time to
We can,
catch up.
we can
And
definitely do this again, man. I'm all for it.
absolutely, and I want to give a shout out to your podcast, Doe Spot. Is definitely great. I'm definitely learning a lot listening to you
Thank
and your growth and the things that you're doing on your podcast. So I definitely appreciate that. I definitely appreciate you sharing another podcast that you know not superheroes, just dads podcast that you
you.
sent me.
Mhm.
That's actually another dope podcast that I'm subscribed to. I'm locked into as well. So I appreciate you sending me that, and shout out to them that putting that together because dads need that type of information.
Fire
I'm a
information.
dad too.
Fire show. I got
Fire show.
fourth episode, and if you listen to it, you'll almost think you're listening to this episode, this podcast. And if
Yes.
you listen to mine, you'll almost think you're listening to because we're on the same wave. We're all men.
Yes.
We're all growing. We're from different hoods, different cities. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like I said, that's six or
Yes.
seven, depending on how many guests we're on. 6, 7, 8 people,
Mhm.
men that can hold a conversation with each other. You think
Mhm.
about all the yelling you heard in your life. Think about all the violence you see on TV and everything, and how people, murder and commit crimes against each other because of a miscommunication.
Mhm.
Um, and we get to have a conversation and chop it up and say, all right, peace, and we're gonna do this again. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
That's dope.
Absolutely.
I was looking at your wristband. What's that wristband?
Which one? Oh, so I have a few. So one, it's father
Yeah,
365.com.
I couldn't even see it. I mean,
Yeah.
let's talk about
So
fatherhood.
this black one is fathers365.com. So I work as well for Midlands Fatherhood Coalition. It's in South Carolina. We help fathers. That's what we do. Fathers, we help them engage in their child's lives, whether it's child support, whether it's visitation,
However, you got to do it. Man.
however you got to do it, whether it's you just need a positive influence in your life, a positive male influence in your life. I actually was a participant in the Midlands Fatherhood Coalition before I started working there
Wow.
because I didn't have no type of mentorship, no guidance or whatnot. I went through my custody battle, and then I ended up joining Fatherhood Coalition to help get my mental right.
Wow.
So they helped me get right, and then in turn, I
Right.
actually was able to get a job opportunity and work there. Now I can help influence other fathers and help impact their lives and get them involved with their child's lives now. So I definitely appreciate the opportunity that Midlands Fatherhood Coalition gave me because now I can impact other fathers. They may not have the route that I had to where I could get primary custody. Maybe they still struggling to see their child or whatnot, but they're getting guidance. They're learning how to be a parent, how to be a father, how to communicate with the co-parent through
Mm.
our program. So, and it's helped me, and it's another outreach and another learning opportunity to help me communicate and learn how to talk and educate and build with other fathers. So I definitely appreciate the opportunity for sure.
And it's
And then
Midlands Co- Father
Midlands Fatherhood Coalition.
Coalition. Shout out to them. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out.
Keep Jarell on staff. He's an engaging person.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing we need to do. I'll just real quick shout out Doe Spot,
Yeah.
the Doe Spot, DA underscore DOE SPOT is my IG handle, but the Doe Spot is what you will find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts before they go away because they're going away soon. So just those two platforms is fine with me, or not. You know, you can catch the clips, and you can follow other things that I have going on in my life if you like. Life of J Wandoe is my other IG personal page, and I'm not here for followers or anything like that. I'm really here for conversation. But I know that when people are in need or people are exposed to more, you'll see who I'm following. You'll see other people in my life that I have, and I love showing my friends off. I love to see other people doing things and building.
Absolutely.
Like I met some amazing people, Jarell being one of them. And so, you know, even when we were just talking about fatherhood, I could tell his energy change. He started to shift. We need to get excited like we should get for Jesus Christ. How we should get when we see our kids born. How we get excited when we watching a football game. Anything else we passionate about. We need to start getting more excited, showing that, really giving people that excitement, our testimony in any space, any capacity. Answer that phone, make that phone call, because you never know when you may not get to do it. Been through that before. Try to hold the pride was holding, the ego was holding me. Conviction was getting to me though. I was led down, being like, you know what, I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm gonna call, I'm not gonna reach out. Then I get the phone call. Maybe, you know, not in like death or anything, but something happened, or that person is no longer in the space that you thought they were. You talk to them again, and like, oh yeah, that's over with. Like, man, maybe I could have gave some insight or something, like either gain or gave, but you know, got some clarification because I hate being in the dark. And I know we're closing off, but I'll just say, if you are in a dark place, or if you are that person, please understand somebody out there really cares about you. So be open to having some communication, because I've seen it go the other way. So I've been almost October will be 3 years since I've lost my mentor, somebody that I was really close to, and I heard he took his life. And I know a lot of that can attribute to his upbringing and the fact that he probably didn't have people that got him, that understood who he is and who he was. And maybe he couldn't even express himself the way he really wanted to, outside of cheer down, outside of anger, or outside of him feeling like this is my only way out of whatever I'm feeling. I'm not trying to take that route. I've been depressed before, like at a mild level, but yeah, I'm not subscribing to that. So the more I have these conversations, the more energy I can get out. Yeah, it's more natural. That's really all it comes down to. I know you listening to me. I know people out there are listening, and that's really what matters. I talk to myself anyway. I don't care. I get my thoughts out. I'm about to be sitting up in the room sucking pouting. No, they're gonna get through too much. You got to see this glow. God's work. I don't want no credit. This is God's work.
Yeah, man. And I appreciate that, because I've had a friend and actually my current business partner.
Okay.
I could have lost him because he took that route to, he had the attempt. And it's me reaching out, me continuing to check on him and all that helped him build back that confidence to where we're at now. So
thank God for him.
Absolutely. So I definitely, like, he's a good heart, good spirit, good guy. It's just circumstances, and I understand. So it's just, if you have that opportunity to impact somebody, to reach out, to check on them, even if you're not communicating, just check on them anyway.
Even if it's uncomfortable.
Even if it's uncomfortable, you never know.
Our comfort zone. Other people got to come theirs too.
You never know what type of impact you'll have on that individual. Rather, hey, how you doing? Just want to check on you. You never know. That single sentence or two will have a major impact on what they do moving forward. So please continue to check on your friends, man. Check on your family. Check on those who you care about, even if y'all haven't talked in a long time. It doesn't matter. Just send that text, do that call, whatever it is.
Because
That's it.
good.
That's it. You never
checking
know
in.
the level of impact.
Answer the message. Check
Yeah.
the message. Read it.
And if they send you something or if they call, respond back. You are never too busy to not respond back to somebody who responded to you. That's just an excuse. And then now you're going to end up, if something happens, now you have to live with that doubt for the rest of your life. And you don't want to do that because that's heavy. That's heavy.
Now he's speaking to y'all. Before he was speaking to himself, he talking to y'all.
That's heavy. I don't ever want to have to bear that weight. I'm going, if you call me and I see that and we I'm gonna call you back. Hey, what's up? Like you checked on, oh, you text me, what's up, man? What's going on?
Yeah, my bad. I wasn't.
Yeah, my bad. I missed this. I saw it 2 days. Damn, I didn't know it was like that. I meant to call back. I meant to text back. Whatever. What's up?
Yeah, time is valuable for everybody, man.
Even if you miss it, yeah, absolutely. Even if you miss, hey, my bad, man. I just this and that. I saw you. I just had this and that going on. Hey, what's up? This. Respond back. Don't leave them on red for a week.
Yeah, you're right. I need know
what negative effect that could
be a hypocrite. I don't always do it. I got messages because I actually went off Facebook a while back, a few months back, deactivated it. But people still got Messenger, so I'm still available. And people have messaged me. I just haven't had the space because I know once I respond, that now it's gonna open up another door, and I really don't have the space for it. So I rather hold off.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we going over again. It's been an extra 20. Look at that. We can talk another 20.
It's all good.
But yeah. But just final thoughts. Along with what you said, which is amazing. Definitely putting that in my mental Rolodex file cabinet. What I want to challenge people listening, challenge you to be true to what you actually believe in, not what you perceive things to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much of you calling back or anything like that, but even if you don't really want to talk to that person, be respectful of their time, if they're reaching out. I got somebody I know is way too busy to be doing this right here, but I reached out to the person and they responded and said, "Hey, I got a lot going on, but I'm gonna get back to you." And even if this don't happen for another year, I'm still gonna comment on their posts. I'm still gonna show love. I'm not looking at that like, "Who I need you to respond," because I didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
All I wanted to know is, could I get an opportunity?
Yeah.
At some point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll allude this to y'all. Just be real quick, be transparent. Like I reached out to try to get on y'all podcast, but I'm actually glad y'all didn't, because it seemed like I was trying to be the person I was talking about earlier. If I kind of sensed some tension or friction or things wasn't aligning because y'all time didn't line up, well, me flying in virtually from England, swooping in like, "Hey, listen to my podcast," or "Let me talk to y'all about fitness stuff that y'all have already researched and already talked about and already had a relationship at that point." I thought I would have maybe messed up the chemistry, but initially I was like, let me just jump on there and maybe help the chemistry. But looking back at it now, y'all needed to go through that. Y'all needed to have that experience to get you here. And now we can all be on the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing when you keep working on what you're working on, perfect your craft to the fullest extent. You're always going to need to work on something, whether it's weight loss, whether it's family members cousins and things like that. I love seeing reunions. I love seeing people go on family reunions, something I haven't experienced in a long time and probably won't for another couple of years because of those same type of issues. So I can't be out here living a certain life and I'm not being the one showing up for my family. Mm-hmm. That's just not something I feel good about. So what I do feel good about is the fact that my podcast is now on yours, and a couple of your followers, I'm sure, are going to reach out whenever this is uploaded. So
absolutely.
Thank y'all. Welcome to the Doe Spot. Say that
absolutely.
Now. It's a household environment.
Yes.
We the more guests you see, I hope you go to their pages and follow them, and you get to see them again. See them. I show my friends off. There's a lot of us. We doing some great things, and especially in the social media space, but also from my point of view, are good people. Everybody I rock with it, they're pretty good people. They do take care of their kids. They take care of themselves. You know what I mean? That means a lot to me.
Absolutely.
Very, very near and dear. And Jarell, thank you, man. I appreciate you so much. I really do.
Now, I appreciate you for, taking the time out to be on my podcast, and to share your thoughts and your wisdom and your experience and in your knowledge and teaching, my viewers your perspective, because that's all I want to do is just share my perspective. And, if it hits one person or two people or, many, I appreciate that. That's all I want to do is just share, educate, and inspire. And you definitely done this. This definitely been a great.
I hope you chop it up too, because I know my attention span. I'll be all right. It's gonna take me a few days to listen to 2 hours.
No, for sure. I'm
gonna do your thing with that.
I'm gonna have to chop it up because we already had an hour and 50 minutes, and I personally could listen. I could sit through 100.
Right.
I could just do an hour and 50 minutes, and
and I always keep
majority can't. So I may chop this up to.
That's just a suggestion, of course. I try to keep mine under 30. I did that for the first one. That was an hour, 15 minutes. I'm like,
I made too, but at the end of the day, people are gonna listen to and then come back to it if they really want to listen to it. So I made it there because this was a great conversation. There was little pauses, little ums, and I feel like I did good on my own, to where I didn't say that many times. So I feel like this was good. This was good, and I absolutely, and I try to build off of the not superheroes, just dads, because you sent me that, and you emphasize on their energy, and how they spoke and they talked and all that stuff, and I'm like, I like that because it is true. In the past, I haven't been as energized, and it's not like on purpose. It's just personality. It's just how I am. I'm naturally just
thinking about.
Yeah, I'm just naturally. I'm just speaking. I'm just cool. I'm whatever. But it's not the passion. Doesn't perceive to be there. So I've been more cognizant on that. So now I listen to it. I listen to more episodes of your podcast. I listen to I think 2 episodes of their podcast. So I'm like, I get what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And now that it's been about a month and a half since I did my last podcast, I've grown since then. So there is more energy. There is more, what I'm saying, more confidence on how I speak. So when you said that, I'm like, I hear what you're saying. I appreciate that, because now let me listen to it. I see what they're saying, and I see how they're doing. Now let me put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, and they're from a year ago, so I can imagine because I'm trying to listen to it in order.
No, for sure.
By the time I get to whatever last week or this week, I'm like, okay, well, I can definitely see the differences. You can tell when like a show when one person's on, the other person isn't.
Yeah,
that's why I never want to do no more pair shows again.
Yeah,
like I just don't feel those work out and well for everybody.
It's all growth.
Have host, guest host, co-host. I just be the moderator.
No, it's all growth. And I appreciate your feedback, because it's a learning experience.
We gotta help each other.
They told me.
Right.
So hearing the feedback from others is definitely appreciative. So what I'm saying, shout out to you, shout out to the Doe Spot. Shout out to Fred.
We're gonna win. We winning together.
Absolutely. Shout out to Fred. You know what I'm saying? He ain't forgetting. He's still, you know what I'm saying? Salute to Fred holding it down. out there in Flint, Michigan. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Shout out to the not superheroes, just dad podcast.
Right.
Shout out to them. I just learned about y'all today, but y'all gonna get my support. I subscribe to like from 3 different platforms. I did my own personal. I did the Jarell Journal. I subscribed there. Then I also subscribed from I think Spotify or something like that. So I did
Them and
YouTube, but then I
especially
also did Spotify. So I'm locked in, and I would love to talk and get on y'all podcasts and all that stuff. So for
another
sure,
one that's a little more popular or more all black men need therapy is a
ooh,
great one.
that's
Another
a
one like
good one.
that's a great
Woo.
group of guys. They're like educators. Princess Power is an actual poet. Like he won a Grammy from his poetry for his
Wow.
poetry. So all black men need therapy is one that I use as like a guide in a sense, or a template. Even though I had the Doe Spot has been in production since July of 2022, but when you look on the episodes, you're going to see 2023. You'll see a gap of space.
Mhm.
However, all I did was re-release it. But when I re-released, that was the date that it uploaded, not the date that it was recorded. But it's all good, It's like an archive in recent, more modern, recent times. And then I'm gonna try to start getting more content out myself because I don't like. But there's a lot. It's a lot of good things on there. So it's all about what you take from it.
Mhm.
You're not gonna relate to everything, especially if you weren't in the military.
Mhm.
But you get to get our perspectives. And that's what it's all about. Discussions of experiences. So that's what the Doe and the Doe Spot means. Discussion of experiences. So that's
Like
plus
that.
Wandoe is my name.
Like
So
that.
I just pulled from that.
You
Yeah.
ain't got triple entendre over there going on.
J Hope or J Wanda.
No, I like that. I like that. I like that. So
I
I
try.
appreciate
It's
you.
something that came to me. Yeah, man.
No, that's good. That's good. I appreciate you being on here, man. I appreciate you inspiring and influencing my listeners. I look forward to be able to be on your podcast
Oh,
and
sure.
be able to
Real
do
soon.
the same to your listeners
Yep.
and whatnot, and just the world. We're here to educate and inspire those who gravitate to us.
Sure.
We're not gravitating to everybody.
That's it.
We have those who are gravitating to us, who
Right.
feel that we are speaking to them and that we are living a positive lifestyle to where they can walk and they can, be able to relate and translate to those who are under them. That's what we want to do. You want to inspire others who are able to inspire others. That's what we do.
Just keep passing it along.
That's
Sandbags.
as a sandbag.
Yep.
Same with the other,
Remember the sandbag detail. Oof, that could
absolutely.
hurt.
Absolutely. So we definitely appreciate. So be sure to subscribe to Jarell's Journal, whether you're on YouTube, you're on Amazon, even though they're about to go away. Even if you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Music. So I appreciate you let me know that and influence me to make sure that I'm back on
Oh
Apple
yeah, you gotta be,
Podcasts
man.
and all the other ones. So I was kind of slack on that. So I appreciate that information. So
Oh good, bro.
be sure to
YouTube is big.
subscribe and
Yes, sir.
tune in to the Doe Spot for sure. Listen in, great storytelling, great information being told on that podcast. Be sure to tune in and lock into not superheroes, just dads podcast as well. And
Fuck
any
that.
other podcasts or information or books, especially The Alchemist by Paulo Khalil. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm butchering his
They'll
name,
find
but
it. I'm honestly
y'all
man.
find it. He has a collection.
Sure.
I just finished audiobook of Warrior of the Light, and it's by the same artist. He has a whole collection. It's great information. You're going to learn, you're going to be inspired. And the Warrior of the Light, it's especially if you are consider yourself somebody who it's that reads the Bible and that consider them the follower of the Messiah, you would want to consider yourself the Warrior of the Light. So it is very beneficial for you to read or listen to that book, and along with The Alchemist and along with the other books that he has put out. Those are the only two books that I've read so far or listened to so far from that artist. But I'm going to listen to the rest of the books that he has, because it's very inspirational. And if you are one of those who are about positivity, about influence, about doing and walking as close to the biblical prophecy as you can, then I would suggest you read and look into these books, because I consider myself a biblical follower. I do not, and this is a whole nother conversation. We don't even have time for this tonight.
Let's chop this up.
I consider myself a biblical follower. I consider the Bible and consider that, not as far as religion or all that stuff. I just, whatever the Bible says, that's what I follow. That's what I believe personally.
Hey, you gotta explain it.
Yeah. So I already explained it like a couple episodes ago before. Yeah. So y'all go ahead and watch that one if y'all really want to know how I feel and all that stuff.
Turn them out. Go back and check them all out.
Yeah, for sure.
Like 8 to 10 so far, so catch up now. Because
catch up now. I only speak my truth. Hey, you believe and you feel however you want to feel. I'm gonna speak my truth, and it is what it is. But I appreciate you. Go ahead and subscribe to my stuff, Jarell's Journal. Go ahead to subscribe to Meant to Be Fit. That's my fitness and health and life coaching business that I got going on too. So Meant to Be Fit, MEANT, the number 2, BEFIT. That's Meant to Be Fit. Go ahead and subscribe to that. Subscribe to the Doe Spot. Well, Wandoe, he holding it down there, educating and influencing those, especially me, and he influencing me as well. Now Superheroes Just Dash, subscribe to that. They on YouTube, they on Spotify. They may be on some other stuff. That's the only thing that I've seen them on so far. I just learned about them today or yesterday. So I'm grown, y'all grown. So subscribe, share, and let us know how you feel about this conversation that we had today.
And most people want, we get it. Peace to y'all, love to y'all. We, even if you're just watching, just viewing,
appreciate.
We love the comments. We love
it.
How people thinking.
We love feedback.
If you watch you need a shorter version. If you want less dialogue, more direct contact, direct question. Because I didn't always ask your question back to you, which I would normally do. But I knew you already had it in your mind, and we pretty much did great. I think first.
No, it was great, and it's the first of many.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the first of many. We 2 hours in, and it is all good. I mean, y'all know how I am. I could ramble, I could talk, whatever. Y'all chop it up, y'all break it out. If you gotta work 45 minutes and then take a break and then watch another 45 minutes and then take a break and then finish.
That's funny.
Whatever y'all gotta do, break it up, watch it, learn, grow with us, communicate, share. Let us know how y'all feel. Let us know what y'all think. Or about the stuff that we talked about in this episode,
That's right.
please share with us. We want to know. We want to
Yeah,
learn.
correct us. It's all good.
And yeah, we
I like insight too.
yeah, we're good with constructive criticism.
Dick, please. You don't say anything, that's when I get worried.
Yeah. We want to learn, we want to grow, and we want to be more informative. So we appreciate it. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you being back, being on my podcast and being here, after the little drought that I have. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. So
I had them, man.
yeah, I don't want to hold you any further. I kind of been along with it a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta get it out, man. And we say this is like brotherhood, this is fellowship. So when God's working, when he's moving, you gotta allow him to move. You gotta allow him to work. It may cause you to lose some sleep or whatever, but it'll be worth it when it matters.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, I love y'all. I love people out there. Appreciate y'all all that follow Jarell, new followers, people that glad to see you back. Maybe this will be on Facebook or something, and people that see me, I'm out here, man. Holla at me.
Absolutely. Follow the Doe Spot. Follow the Doe Spot, man. I appreciate you, man.
It's just a suggestion, but I'm out here. So.
Nah, mandatory. Like that. Mandatory.
Follow the Doe Spot.
Right. Follow the Doe Spot, man. All right, man.
Cool, bro. Peace.
Peace.